Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for another metal update. This one's going to be pretty much, I don't think there's anything but thrash in this one for the most part. I should have done this as part of my Thrash Metal Monday, but whatever. We'll just call it a metal update. Finally got the last of the Mortification albums. They've been getting repressed, or pressed to vinyl, most of them for the first time, by Soundmass, and I believe they're in Australia, and really happy to finally have this one. This is the last one that I needed. I thought that I pre-ordered this, and I went through my history, and for some reason, somehow I missed this one when I was ordering all the rest of them. But this is the Evil Addiction Destroying Machine. It's just Mortification be a Mortification. Death Thrash. They kind of go back and forth between those a little bit. Fantastic album. Let's see. Little shout out to Scott Waters there on his jacket, but fantastic album. There's not a bad Mortification album. I recommend getting them now before they disappear. Stuff like that tends to shoot up in price. They didn't press a super limited amount, so they're still out there. But once they dry up, I'm sure they're going to go through the roof. Next up, this is one I highly recommend everybody grab if it's still available. Did they do only 100 of these? I can't remember how many of these they pressed. I've been talking about this album for almost a decade. This came out in like 2009. I found the CD in like 2013, and I was blown away by how good it was. And I told a lot of people about it. And I got it because it was cheap. It actually kind of looked like, what did they call it? Kind of like a metalcore looking album cover to me. And I kind of tested it on my phone, and I was blown away. This is just really killer thrash. Fantastic. But this is Lazarus AD. 10 out of 10 record. I believe their second album's about to get done too. But this is just a classic thrash album. Fantastic. I love everything about this. I've loved it since the day it came out. I did a video years ago talking about that needs to be pressed to vinyl, and it's finally getting done. Super happy that Metal Blade teamed up. Did they do that with Girder? Or was that Retro? Yeah, Brutal Planet, so retroactive. I'm glad they teamed up to finally get that one pressed, and I'm pretty sure the second one's coming. Next up, just another killer thrash album. This is, what's his name? Is it Steve Gaines? I believe it is. If I'm wrong, sorry. I believe it's Steve Gaines, though, is the main guy behind this project from Abattoir. But this is Anger is Art, Virtual Sympathy. His newest album. I hesitated to buy this one because I heard the track that I heard online I wasn't really feeling. And Brother Scott told me, hey, I'm going to send you some tracks to listen to. You're going to love it. And I ordered it within 5 minutes of hearing those tracks. I was blown away by how good it is. I've been playing this one quite a bit too. This is actually on No Life Till Metal Records. So this is Scott put this one out, did the artwork. Get this one while you can. Just really killer album. Next up, this one's a 10 out of 10 for me. Sacrament, back in the 90s. I didn't find it about until years later, but the band Sacrament from the 90s put out 2 killer albums, a killer EP, just really, really, really good thrash. And then, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, the drummer and the original singer from the band, excuse my allergies, reformed and put out an album called, or a band, reformed and created a band called Testimony of Apocalypse, which was one of the songs off of their debut album. I'm not sure what happened, but that singer has left. The original singer has left. This is just the drummer now. But this album has a bunch of different big name singers on here, and it's fantastic. Some of this is thrash, some of it's death metal. All of it's fantastic. This is a 10 out of 10 album for me. This is probably number 2 or 3, the number 2 or 3 album of the year for me. I've only had it for a month, and I've been playing it nonstop. A must-have. Next up, I've talked about these guys before. These guys are the best of the British thrash bands. There's quite a few that I love. Zentrix has always been at the top for me. Their writing, their musicianship, it's all top notch. They don't have a bad album. I haven't heard their newest album, so maybe, because they disappeared for a while and they just put out a new album like a year or so ago. So I haven't checked that out. I'm looking forward to hearing it. But this is Ken. I don't really, when people talk about Zentrix, they talk about their first couple albums. This is one of my favorites from them. This one is fantastic. It's one you should really have in the collection. You should have all of them. If you're a thrash guy, you should have all the Zentrix albums. They're all killer. Musical and Vinyl did a really good job on this one. I think they just did this within the last year or so. So you should still be able to find this one relatively easily. Next up, man, what can I say? This is probably number 3 on the year for me. I've talked about number 1 for me is the Witch Hazel album. No, actually, I think this one might be number 1 and Witch Hazel might be number 2. I like this one a little bit better. So this is Horns for a Halo from Elegant Weapons. Elegant Weapons is Richie Faulkner's new band. Can't remember who. Romero's in here. It's a super group and a half. So you got Richie Faulkner on guitar. You got Ronnie Romero on vocals. You've got Scott Travis on drums and Rex Brown on bass. Just a fantastic group. Romero did what he did. He was Deep Purple for a while. You've got Rex Brown, who's obviously Pantera. Richie Faulkner. I love this album. This is just really killer early 80s metal. There's definitely some Judas Priest in there, but it's just really killer straight across the board metal. I've been playing this quite a bit. This is definitely a favorite. If you guys didn't know about this or didn't know what this was, go out and get it while you can. It's a must-have. If you're a Priest fan, if you're a fan of any of those guys, you're going to love this album. Next up, some more thrash. We got Thresher. Here I Am. Philadelphia, I believe. I know they're from, pretty sure they're a Philly band. Or is it Pittsburgh? You guys can correct me in the comments. This is a band, I bought the CD from, Rock's Distribution maybe 10 years ago. I bought the CD and I really dug it. They put out 2 albums. I bought the CDs, and then when they started this Rock's 100 series, where they press 100 of each record, one of the first groups that they put out one of the first albums they put out was this and the other Thresher, and I bought them right away. I love these albums, just really killer, underrated underground thrash. These really should be in the collection. Again, just really killer thrash. That's really all I got to say about this one. It's a more obscure one, so if you're into the more obscure thrash, definitely check that one out. Next up, Anthrax. I already had this one. I don't like... this was a Newberry Comics release. This is For All Kings, the most recent Anthrax. The original pressing came in a big plastic slip sleeve that I can't stand. I hate pulling the record out of there. So I ended up selling that to a buddy, and then Newberry Comics did this limited run. I don't remember what color vinyl it is. They did like 3 or 4 different colors. It's not like super valuable or anything. I just didn't like the sleeve, so I replaced it with this one. Fantastic album, though. I saw them on that tour twice. I'm actually about to see them again in maybe 3 months. Next up, this is one I was super excited for. I've been looking for this album for quite a while. This is a debut from Toxic Holocaust. I believe this is the 20-year anniversary of this album. Evil Never Dies. If you're a fan of Toxic Holocaust and haven't checked this one out, you really should. It's a little different, though, and I was surprised because I had never heard this album. I had heard War is Hell live a number of times, and I think Warfare I've heard live. Maybe Evil Never Dies, but War is Hell is one of their big songs. And I didn't expect it to be crossover punk or crossover thrash. I thought it was going to be straight up thrash like their later stuff, but I mean, this is very heavy on the punk side, really killer crossover, which I love anyway. But I was very pleasantly surprised and really digging this one. Again, get this one while you can. It's kind of cool. Actually, I'm going to show this one real quick because I really like what they did with the splatter. It's like they call it toxic splatter. And they kind of did it in the radioactive, you know, the radioactive, what do they call that? Symbol. I really dug that. So it doesn't look as good on the B side, but on that, the A side, it came out really killer. So highly recommend grabbing this one while you still can. You can still order it through the website. Don't pay I think it's already going for like 50 or 60 bucks in the aftermarket, but last time I checked, it was still available through their website. So grab it there. Toxic Holocaust, though. And then I've mentioned these before. They've been repressing all of the Intruder albums. I loved the first album, but I had never been able to find any of the later albums on vinyl. I finally ran across the second one about 2 years ago in a local store, an original pressing. Then found out that they were repressing their third album and then the EP. So I was really happy to get this one, but this is Psycho Servant, just a fantastic album. They did a great job with the represses. They did a really bad job on the cover. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty cloudy. It may not show up on the camera, but man, all of the albums that they repress have this like really cloudy feel to the cover. They should have paid somebody to clean this up and make it look really good. You can just tell they blew it up without giving it much of a touch up from the original CDs. That's it, guys. I hope everybody's doing good. I will see you soon, and take care, VC. Love you guys.